Before Europe built castles, Africa built empires. Before the world knew kings, Africa knew kingdoms. This is the untold story of Africa's ancient greatness. Our journey begins in East Africa, the cradle of humanity, in places like Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania and the Omo Valley in Ethiopia. Our earliest ancestors took their first steps. But Africa's story doesn't end with human origins. It's where civilization itself was born. Consider Nata Playa in Egypt, home to one of the world's oldest astronomical sites, predating Stonehenge by 1,000 years, or the Nok culture in Nigeria, which developed sophisticated terracotta sculptures and early iron smelting. In Mauritania, the ancient city of Tikrit showcases early urban planning and stone architecture. These early societies didn't just exist, they thrived. They developed agriculture, mastered metallurgy, and established complex trade networks. Africa didn't borrow civilization, it birthed it. Moving north, we encounter two giants of the ancient world, Egypt and Kush. While Egypt's grandeur is well known, its African roots are often overlooked. The kingdom of Kush, centered in modern-day Sudan, was Egypt's equal and occasional ruler. During the 25th dynasty, Kushite pharaohs, often referred to as the Black Pharaohs, ruled over both Kush and Egypt. Their capital, Meroe, became a center of iron smelting, earning it the nickname Africa's Birmingham. Meroe was also famous for its pyramids and powerful queens, known as Kandags, who led armies and shaped policy. Kush didn't imitate Egypt, it ruled it, leaving an indelible mark on one of history's most famous civilizations. Shifting to North Africa, we encounter Carthage, founded in 814 BC in what is now Tunisia. This maritime powerhouse built a trade empire stretching across the Mediterranean, from Spain to the Levant. Carthage's most famous son, Hannibal Barca, nearly brought Rome to its knees during the Punic Wars. Even in defeat, Carthage's legacy lived on, influencing Roman culture and trade for centuries. Carthage was more than just a city, it was Africa's gateway to the ancient world. In the Horn of Africa, the kingdom of Aksum rose to prominence, located in modern-day Ethiopia and Eritrea. Aksum was one of the first empires to adopt Christianity in the 4th century CE. Aksum's strategic location allowed it to control trade routes between Africa and the Mediterranean world. Its merchants traded with Rome, India, and Arabia, exchanging ivory, gold, and aromatic resins for silk, spices, and other luxuries. Aksum's faith and trade didn't just shape the Horn of Africa, they connected it to the wider world. As we move into West Africa, we encounter a series of empires that controlled the lifeblood of medieval trade, gold. The Ghana Empire, also known as Vargadu, was the first of these gold empires of the Sahel. Ghana was succeeded by the Mali Empire, which reached its zenith under Mansa Musa, often cited as the wealthiest person in history. Mali's capital, Timbuktu, became a center of Islamic learning, home to the renowned Songhai University. The Songhai Empire followed, known for its administrative brilliance under leaders like Askia Muhammad. These weren't just kingdoms, they were global economies, shaping trade from the Atlantic to the Red Sea. Further south, in modern-day Nigeria, the kingdoms of Ifa and Benin flourished. Ifa, considered the spiritual heartland of the Yoruba people, produced naturalistic bronze sculptures that astounded European observers. Benin, famous for its iconic bronze plaques and sculptures, was noted for its advanced system of governance and urban planning. The walls of Benin City, now mostly destroyed, were once described as the world's largest earthworks carried out prior to the mechanical era. When Portuguese traders arrived in the 15th century, they found a kingdom to rival any in Europe. Benin's art wasn't primitive, it was prophetic, capturing a society at the height of its power and sophistication. In southern Africa, Great Zimbabwe stands as a testament to African architectural and organizational skill. This massive stone complex, built between the 11th and 15th centuries, was the capital of a state that controlled much of the region's gold trade. The Zimbabwe tradition continued with the Mutapa Empire, which dominated the gold and ivory routes between the interior and the Indian Ocean coast. For centuries, European mapmakers filled this region with imaginary mountains and lost cities, unable to believe that Africans had built such impressive structures. These stones speak louder than any colonial silence, testifying to the ingenuity and power of African civilizations. The story of Africa's ancient kingdoms is also a story of erasure and reclamation. Centuries of colonialism distorted and suppressed much of this history. Racist ideologies denied the sophistication of African societies, attributing their achievements to imaginary foreign influences. But this history was never truly lost. It lived on in oral traditions, in archaeological remains, and in the work of African scholars who fought to reclaim their heritage. Today, a new generation of historians, archaeologists, and geneticists is piecing together the true story of Africa's past. This work isn't just about correcting the historical record, it's about reclaiming a legacy. It's about understanding that Africa's current challenges are not the result of inherent backwardness, but of historical processes that can be understood and overcome. Africa's past is not lost, it's rising. With every new discovery, with every re-examined text, we gain a clearer picture of a continent that has always been a center of innovation, power, and cultural achievement. Africa was never behind. It was always ahead. Its empire shaped world history. Its innovations changed human society, and its cultures enriched global civilization. This is not just African history, it's human history, in all its complexity and glory. As we conclude this journey through Africa's ancient greatness, remember that history isn't just written, it's remembered. It lives in the land, in the people, and in the continuing story of a continent reclaiming its narrative. The kingdoms may have fallen, but their legacy endures. In the bustling markets of Lagos, in the universities of Nairobi, in the tech hubs of Kigali, Africa's ancient greatness is being reborn. The next chapter of this story is being written right now by Africans who know that their past is the key to their future. This is more than just history, it's a call to action, to learn, to explore, to question the narratives we've been given, because when we understand our true past, we can build a better future. Africa's story is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning.